If you're struggling with cash flow in your agency and you'd like to go from living project to project to having consistent retainer income, then watch this video. This is the exact steps that I took to transform my first marketing agency from being a project-driven agency to retainer-driven, where I got up to $146,000 a month of recurring income. So let's jump in. Now, this is exactly how you productize a service. And in the AI space, it's actually a lot easier than you think to productize your services. So what is this big mistake that I see most agencies make? The biggest mistake I see is they build custom solutions from scratch, and they do it every time. So essentially they're trading time for money, there's no scalability, and you end up working a stack of hours. Before I really systemized things, I was up to 80 hours a week, and my wife wasn't very happy with that. Neither was I. And the thing is, there's a great formula to transform this. Now, the reason why I see most agencies fail within 18 months is they start every project from zero. Some will use templates, some will use default JSONs from Make or N8N to build their projects from, but the majority start from scratch. And you really can't scale beyond what your personnel has the ability to do. And honestly, if you don't have predictable income, you also can't build a business. It's very, very difficult to hire staff and to retain good staff if you've got to do it on a project basis. And it's very difficult as a business owner to put good staff on a retainer if you aren't getting paid consistently, because you've got to take that risk. So the question I've got to ask is, how would your entire business transform if every client paid you monthly forever? Now, that's the thing that I love about AI automation. You see, when you are selling Google AdWords or SEO or Facebook ads or anything like that, you're not that sticky. You're providing a service that then goes into their business. So you sit at the top of the funnel, you deliver leads, and there's stacks of people that can do that. But when you deliver AI, it's much like CRMs and SaaS. The reason most SaaS companies will spend the first year's value of a customer to acquire a customer is because they know that once they get a SaaS product into a business, it sticks. And if you're building your AI automations correctly and you're running them correctly, they become that sticky point of the core business process that becomes virtually impossible to get rid of. So let's jump into 10 solutions that you can productize. And I'm going to walk you through essentially what the initial offer is, what a front-end offer is, as well as what a retainer would be. So proposal generation systems. So the front-end offer would be a proposal automation setup. You charge about $3,500 for it. Now, what do you deliver? You deliver a custom proposal using Make and plus AI. And the goal is, generate a professional proposal in 3 minutes versus 3 hours. That's what the promise in your outreach scripts. Now, if you watch this video and you take notes, you realize I'm basically giving you 10 offers that you can go and use in your core emails here. The proof, you show basically someone that's already done it, or you can simply actually run them through a demo. And the demo could be your proposal that you're going to send them for the proposal software. So there's a really cool little flywheel there. Implementation, use pre-built templates such as the ones that I'm happy to share with you. You just need to shoot me a DM on building these. Now, how do you convert this to a retainer? This is a really great front-end offer. The retainer it becomes an optimization suite. And what that means is you will run proposal, and you'll sell these for about $1,200 a month, or it depends on how many proposals they're sending. So you could do $1,200 a month plus X amount per proposal. There are so many P's in that sentence. I'm gonna have some of my good old hibiscus tea. And no, I don't have a hibiscus tea brand. I just think it is one of the best things for your health. Now, ongoing services. So you will run a performance analytics and A/B testing and template updates. So what that means is if you're building your templates and you're using, let's say, PandaDocs as at the core, you can then see which proposals convert. You can see which pages get the most eyeballs. And on a monthly basis, you can refine one of those pages. You could split test headlines. And again, if they're running enough volume, realistically, they need to be sending at least 30 proposals a month to make the service worthwhile, which if they're not, then sell cold email, which we'll be selling in a sec. And basically your goal here is to consistently increase the conversion rates of the proposal. So you actually become a growth partner in their business. Now, $200, it's very easy to add a stack of additional money. Retention hook, monthly win rate updates and quarterly strategy calls. So the way that you keep clients on retainer is very different to the way that you get them back for another build. If you want to keep them, you've got to communicate to them proactively and share the wins. Or if there's no wins, share why there wasn't a win and what you're doing next month to improve it. So productized solution number 2, social media content systems. The front end offer would be a content automation launch. You sell this for about $2,800. That's what I found has been a fair market price in the US. And essentially what you deliver is 30 days of automated content with AI generation. Now, the promise is never run out of social media content again. This is a huge issue for a lot of businesses, is they run out of content all the time. You don't want them to be doing that. Proof, you can literally show 90 days of automatically created and scheduled content. Do it for yourself. That's your proof. Say, hey, this is what I did. This is how much my following count increased, etc. Implementation, again, very, very quick. You can usually set this up in 3 days or less. Once you're good at it, you can set up in about half a day. Now, how do you convert this to a retainer? Well, the front-end offer at its core is, I'm going to build you a system. Here's a system. Go run said system. The retainer is, let us run this system for you. Now, you've straight up told them the content's going to be AI driven. You've straight up told them that it's going to be automated. But if they don't want to train someone in their team to do it, then you can do it for them. But it's that simple. And with that, the reason for them to do that is because you'll also provide fresh content templates and you'll optimize based around different trends. So over time, these systems, if you build them based on a template or a prompt, you can actually rotate the prompts through to capture on different trends. So overall, huge upside. The hook, monthly content, performance reports, and trend updates. So if you are seeing a trend such as, people are going from bright neon captions to more softer tones, that's a trend. And you say, hey, that's why we updated your system. Now, productized system number 3. This is a epic solution. One of my favorites to sell, and it is cold email hyper-personalization. Not personalization, hyper-personalization. And I'm going to shoot another video on this, actually comparing the various AI models from OpenAI and Claude to show the performance differences here. And it's huge. I've been running this test for about a month to get the data. So what do you deliver? Well, you're going to deliver a personalized outreach engine for $4,200. That's usually the front-end offer. It's a very easy price. It's something that usually takes about a day to build. So even if you want to come in super low and charge like $2,000, great, easy. Now, what do you deliver? You're going to deliver an AI-powered email system that researches and personalizes automatically. So you just fill in the leads, it will research, it will automate, it personalizes. You get an enormous boost in conversion. Now, to give an example of this, and this is what I'm going to be shooting the core video about, I hyper-personalized just subject lines for one of our clients. We had a kick-ass script. We're already doing 15% response rates. Just personalizing the subject line got an extra 2.5%. So it went from 15 to, I think it was like 17.6% response rates. So the offer's, it's an epic offer. But that's the power of customization. Now, the promise when you're doing your outreach is 40 booked sales appointments in 60 days or your money back. And the way you run that guarantee is simple. If you are charging, let's say $4,000 for the build, that means each sales call is $100. If you deliver 30 sales calls, then you give them $1,000 back because you didn't deliver on it. Now, this system, basically you end up with higher open rates and higher conversion rates. Now, how do you turn that into a retainer? Simple. You offer to run it for them. Because what you're going to do up here is you're going to reverse engineer the data, and you're going to say, if I get a, let's say 1% meeting booking rate, that's actually all the way through to sales call, not response rate, actual to a meeting. You say, cool, 40 booked sales calls, I'm going to need to send 4,000 emails. You're going to preload them with probably 6,000 emails and information there just to pad yourself. You want to over deliver. Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to say, cool, you got this system, it works. You can either continue loading it with leads, doing a scrape and running that whole process and bringing the data in, or for $1,800 a month, we can run that service for you. Now, I run this service for a client for $7,000 a month. So this is a low-end offering here. but it's a very attractive one for small businesses. Now, for this, you would be optimizing the campaign, you'd be running the list, you'd be optimizing for responses. So you would be tweaking the copy, you'd be tweaking the prompts, you'd be tweaking the models. And the goal is we'll continually optimize and generate 50 plus qualified leads a month. So at this stage, if you're charging, let's say you're charging $2,500 a month as an example, they're paying $50 per qualified meeting. Like that's cheap for most industries. Retention. Retention is weekly lead reports and monthly strategy optimization. Now, if you want a really cool retention hook here, things like 2 days ago, Claude released Sonnet 4. What you want to do is you want to be like, hey guys, we just got to pause your email for a day while we update the system to be compatible with Claude Sonnet 4. Now, that API isn't out at the time of recording, but they don't know that. And they go, oh, cool, well, you're doing this and you're tweaking this. And you go, hey, this month we're upgrading you from Sonnet 3.5 to Sonnet 3.7. Like, it's literally just changing a setting, but for them, you've done a major software update. And if you say you're pausing the solution while you do that, it creates a lot more tangible value. Productized solution number 4, database reactivation systems. So this is essentially a client win-back campaign. $3,800 for a build is again a fair market value from what I have tested. And essentially you're going to deliver an AI system that analyzes past customers and creates personalized win-back messages. So a lot of businesses actually just let their customers go. That is, they'll come, let's say for example, they buy tires from the tire store. Most tire stores will not follow up that customer in 2 years' time when they're due for new tires. They'll just let them go. Like, what if you were to build the system and actually continually get customers back that way? You just transform businesses. So the promise is to and it depends on the data, but it could be to reactivate 25% of dormant customers within 90 days. Case study, show them a case study. I've got a really great case study where I found $80,000 of found money revenue. I've got another case study where we found $600,000 of found money. That is money that was sitting in the database. They didn't need to spend anything for, that we found for them. And you can usually set these up in a day or two. Always, if you can set it up in 2 days, give yourself 4 days and deliver it in 2, and they're stoked. How do you convert to retainer? You become a life cycle optimization specialist, where you are continually optimizing based on analysis. You can run some seasonal campaigns as well as retention optimization. So what does that mean? Well, if you were to, again, let's use that tire company as an example. If someone bought snow tires, you're not going to reactivate them in summer. You're going to reactivate them at the start of winter. So if your customer is coming to you at summer, they do the one-off, you're going to want to customize this. And through winter, you want to re-engage those people that bought snow tires. And then as summer comes around, you want to re-engage those that did summer tires. And that's just a really simplified version, but lots of businesses have these seasonality elements to it. And ultimately, you want to be running monthly reactivation reports. And with this, you can, I'm trying to highlight, I think I'm in Google Slides. With this, you basically show your value each month. Now, can customers run this stuff themselves? Yes, they can. But if you can show that, they're $1,500 with you that month, you generate them $20,000, it may only take you an hour to run the system per month. But the client doesn't care. They're getting $20,000 back. A lot of people will pay for convenience and certainty, and they're paying that you're an expert in what you do. Next solution, AI virtual assistant solutions. Now, you may notice we're getting more and more complex here. And the reason for that is I personally like simple systems. I like cold email, I like database reactivation, I like social media content, I like SEO content, and proposal generations. They're my big ones that I sell the most of. They're the simplest solutions that have a really clear ROI. Now, if you want to bundle all of these things together, you can start creating like an AI virtual assistant. And in this, $5.5 is a pretty fair market price for a setup. And when we say setup, it's you can hand off the system to them with documentation and it can just run. Now with this, you'd want to be setting up a 24/7 voice AI to handle inbound calls. You want to be running an SMS to SMS people that fill out forms out of hours. And you want to be running an appointment setting bot through this. And the goal here is to capture 100% of leads even when you're sleeping. Now, considering that over 80% of business leads in certain industries come in after hours, huge opportunity here. I know for myself as a marketing agency, the majority of my leads actually come in after hours, especially if they're small business leads. That's because the average small business is too busy doing their business during the day, serving their clients, that at night, they then look at growing their business. And that's how you essentially pull things in, where you can respond to these leads quickly and have a meeting booked for the next morning, especially if you're willing to do out of hours work and say, you know what, I'm going to take a meeting at 7:30 a.m. before they start their day. You're going to close that deal because no one's even had a chance to call them back yet. Proof, you literally just need to set one up or set up a demo. If you want to do easy demos, Zapier, for example, has got really easy chatbot demos. How do you convert this to a retainer? Simple. You run it for them. You optimize, you tweak models, you tweak prompts, you run reports. Again, a lot of the time people just want reports here. Like what you're starting to see is you exporting reports consistently improving an ROI is more important than what you actually do on a monthly basis. Because people aren't paying for the tasks you do, they're paying for the result it generates. And not everyone will be upgradable, but this is a fantastic way to build a business. Now, what is the secret to productizing? You may have noticed a bit of a trend through what we've just spoken about. So this is the secret productization formula. Step 1, identify a universal pain point that every business in the niche has. So the second is to build a templated solution. You want to be using 80% pre-built templates for anything you sell. And then you customize by about 20%. That's how you can do a full build in a matter of hours. I know that I can set up a database reactivation in less than an hour now because I've got my system so refined. Then you want to price for front-end results. That is, you want to build a flat fee front-end system. Think the cold email system where you're promising 40 booked sales calls. Now, this is something that you want to do that's got a very tangible result and that you can give a guarantee around. Then, once you've delivered that, you want to have a retainer hook, which is why they should use you for ongoing services, and even give them a month of that for free if they're hesitant. Say, hey, let me do this for a month. And even if in that month, all you do is run the system and generate them results, they're going to continue because they would have spent $2,000, you made them 20. It doesn't matter. They're going to spend it. And then the fifth is scale through templates. Refine your templates, refine your SOPs, and then hand off to someone to deliver it for you. Once you've done your templates, a really easy way to do a handoff training is build live on Loom. That's it. Great. Get a Loom Pro account. Do Looms, even if it takes, let's say 5 hours of Loom, over the shoulder, talking to the people and running through it. That is the best way to do a handoff. Hopefully, after you've built 3 or 4, it's quicker than 5 hours, unless it's an immense task. But that way you're delivering a client's work and you're training your staff at the same time. Now, why do clients pay for monthly retainers? We've kind of covered this already. Performance dependency. They know that you're going to deliver the performance each month. And it's simple. Our optimization increased the results by 200%. And you don't need to do 200% increases, by the way. And if you can do 200% in month 1, I'd recommend doing 20 or 30% in month 1, 20, 30% in month 2, 20, 30% in month 3. Because what I've learned in the past, and this is from SEO, is I remember getting clients to number 1 in 3 months. And then they'd leave us because we've achieved the outcome. But if we were to get them from number 20 to number 10 in month 1, and then we're going to number 9, then 8, then 7, then 6, and 5, they're going to be really happy because they see growth. Now, if you wanted to balance really, really epic value, is go, cool, month 1, we got 100% growth in results, and then you continue to increase. You just need to continue to deliver something. But one thing I will say is if you deliver your absolute most extraordinary results at the very beginning, that starts becoming the new standard that they expect every month. So if you only improve things by 15% and they're used to a 70% improvement, then be like, well, why did you screw up this month? So you just need to balance expectations. And just, in case you didn't realize, having built an agency to $146,000 a month of recurring revenue, I've dealt with over 1,000 clients on retainers over the space of nearly a decade running my agency. So there's a lot of little nuggets that are helpful here. Maintenance necessity. You can maintenance necessity. So systems need to be effective. Even if there's not maintenance, you can say, hey, we're upgrading you from 3.5 to 3.7 this month. You'll be offline for 12 hours while we do this upgrade. Simple. They get a better performing system. They don't need to know it takes you 10 minutes to do the work, because ultimately, again, it's results. That's why I love selling revenue connected systems. It's results, results, results. Data advantage, we have months of performance data that others don't. That's why they stick with you. And then improvement addiction. So what they become addicted to is improvement each month. Now, how do you turn a 50K project to a 5K annual contract? Sorry, 5K project to a 50K annual contract. Sell your front end, build your monthly, lock that monthly in on an annual contract. So what you can do is, and this is a great pricing strategy, and something I do quite often. You can say our month-to-month rate is $3,000 a month, as an example. Our 12-month contract rate is $2,000 a month. And a lot of people go, oh, yeah, I'll sign a contract. And then when the contract comes up for renewal, you say, hey, we can honor the same rate if you sign another 12-month contract. It's simple, like give a discount for annual pricing. And it's very, very easy to build these out. Now, how to 10x your capacity without hiring. So template library, huge, huge, huge. Get your template library, learn how to deploy something and be niche specific. Video onboarding, teach clients how to do the basics themselves. So if you're doing a handoff build, you want to have a video explainer to send with the handoff build that is generic for how to use this for all clients that build is for. So if you're selling a cold email system and you're using an Apify scraper like I teach them how to use it in a Loom video. Have a document, have 5 or 6 Loom videos, so then you just hand off your hand across. You're also setting up automation, so your intake forms should be automated yourself, your sales should be automated yourself. You're selling automation, use it. Now, 90 days to productize your service. This is a big one. Pick one solution, build your template library. If you're selling 6 different solutions right now, run an analysis of which one of those solutions you sell the most of and optimize that one. Get that templated. Then you want to run the test pilot for 3 clients based on that template. You don't fall into deep customization for each client, then you're not testing your template. Then you refine the system, and then you basically go balls to the wall and you essentially hire someone to run it. Now, biggest mistakes I have seen people trying to do with productization. They're trying to productize everything at once. As I mentioned, try and productize just the products that you're best selling. They try and make templates too rigid. They underprice because it's just templates. I know a web design agency that charges $20,000 for builds that are from ThemeForest, which is a template library. They'll literally they'll buy a template, they'll put new content in it, they'll sell off $20,000. Why? Because the client gets a great experience that they get a website built and live in 3 weeks, and they get the perception that it's being done custom. Doesn't matter. They're getting the result that they want. They forget the optimization hooks and they do not track results. So if you're going to transition from a project-based business to a retainer-based business, this is probably one of the most important slides I'll ever teach you. And that is to track the right KPIs. So you want to track your template reuse rate. That is how many times do you reuse that template, so you get to know the return on investment of time to template it. Second is setup speed. So how long does it take to go from sale to live system? Next is retainer conversion. So that is how many of your front-end clients become a back-end client. What is your lifetime value per client? This is something that's very difficult to calculate, but ultimately just run it from when you decide to start doing retainers. You need to know your lifetime value, and you need to have an average data here. So often people will be like, well, my clients can be worth $300 or $300,000. And I'm like, great, what's the average? They're like, I don't know. Like, just do some math. Put it in Excel, do some math, or even better yet, guys, we're in the age of AI. Drop it in ChatGPT, be like, hey, this is my client data. Have a spreadsheet from the last 12 months. This is my client data. What's my lifetime value? And then churn rate. Again, use ChatGPT or another model to find your monthly churn rate. You want to be dropping this as quickly as possible. One of the biggest mistakes I made when I was scaling initially my agency is I didn't pay any attention to churn. And when you're churning, you're essentially driving with a handbrake on. You know, you're putting 3 clients in and you're losing 1. It's like, what's the use of that? You're going to be putting 3 clients, you're going to be putting 30 clients in and losing one. Now, you'll always lose clients. People sell their businesses, people get number one, people retire. Like, you're always going to churn, but you want to reduce that. So ultimately, why does this work when others don't? Clients pay for outcomes. They don't care about hours. They don't care about tasks. They want outcomes. Recurring revenue creates compound growth. It means each month you're adding compound growth. Templates are faster, not cheaper. Do not reduce your prices if you can do work quicker. Don't do it. You're delivering results, and speed is actually a premium item here. Like if you ask someone, hey, would you prefer me to stop the bleeding in 5 minutes or in 5 hours? Do you think they're going to pay you more to stop bleeding from a wound in 5 hours? No, they want it done like that and they'll pay more for it. So that's it. If you guys are ready to transform your agency, get into it, rewatch this video, even just go back, take those offers that I mentioned, drop them into your cold email if you've got your cold email set up. If you don't, watch my cold email video. If it's not out at this time of recording, then shoot me a comment. I'll send it to you privately. And that is it. So any questions, drop them below. If there's any builds, if you want to see any workflows, if you want any templates, or if you've got simply any questions as to how to grow your business, drop them below. This has been fun.